All right, hello and welcome back to the Carl Jackson
Your daily
Show.
dose of objective truth in a world of confusion.
We're going to be talking about that. I'm going to break it
policy,
down.
because their policies are killing people. Very important. We've got to restore sanity in America, and I think it's going to start happening.
Well, the WNBA is determined to destroy their own league and erase women. It is a phenomenon that is beyond imagination. But I got to tell you this, if the WNBA did indeed want to invite men into the league, I might actually watch for the first time. Listen, I think it's totally crazy what's happening with the WNBA. This is not a topic I wanted to continue to talk about just because I really don't like the WNBA, but I was willing to watch when Caitlin Clark got into the WNBA because there was so much fanfare. There was so much fanfare about her. But now it's become a place where, honestly, there's a culture war that's happening. And I equate this to what we see happening in the Democrat Party right now and what the left has done with us in the past with COVID. I believe this is all psychological warfare. The COVID lockdowns, in my opinion, were psychological warfare, or as Dennis Prager wrote about, a trial run for the police state. I believe this is psychological warfare. All of these women that are trying to erase their own sport, and what they're trying to do is get rid of objective truth. It's the craziest thing to me. But nonetheless, I want to play some video for you. And Sophie Cunningham has become a hero. I haven't even seen her play, but she's become a hero. This is what happened to Sophie Cunningham for standing up for girls. Let's roll this. This is cut number 12. Cut number 12, please.
Anything the neck and face. Look at her. She got whacked good.
All right. So that was Sophie Cunningham. And why did Sophie Cunningham catch an elbow like that? Let me show you why. Here's a tribute video to Sophie Cunningham. This is cut number 14. Here's her sin. Cut number 14.
Thank you, Sophie.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You stood up for us.
You didn't have to.
You could have taken the easy way out.
You could have sat back
And enjoyed your fame. You could have avoided the hate.
taken the money,
And quietly closed the door behind you.
leaving girls like us.
to fight this battle alone.
But you didn't. You spoke up.
You spoke up.
When it comes just to protecting young girls in sport, I feel very strongly about that.
And said what millions of women were thinking.
But we're too afraid to say.
And when they tried to make you back down,
You stood even taller. Yeah, I said what I said. I think it's kind of common sense.
So thank you. So thank you. Thank you for showing me what strength looks like.
What courage looks like.
What integrity is.
And I think I'll always believe in that.
Thank you for showing us what it means to be a real woman.
All right. So she got elbowed in the face for standing up for her sport, for standing up for her league, for standing up for women. I want to show you a couple of clowns that I think are a disaster for the WNBA. Sadly, one of them happens to be Sophie Cunningham's coach, in case you missed this earlier this week. This is number 2, Gabe. This is the Indiana Fever coach that is too chicken to say that men don't belong in women's sports. And somehow she forgot what science or kindergarten or first grade science was. Cut number 2.
What's your stance? What is your stance on men or athletes who test as biological male participating in women's sports? What's your personal stance?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would say that I'm educated enough from a scientific standpoint. I don't ever believe that exclusion is an answer. I just don't. I do think, when we think about various levels of sport, various governing bodies of sport and things that go into that, like I said, I'm not educated enough at the different levels. I know growing up, I played with the boys all the time.
So
there weren't girl sports.
Would you welcome a biological male in WNBA?
Again, it's like, I don't know, when we talk about biological male and scientifically where we are, I think it's a totally different scenario. As I said, I'm not educated enough in terms of transgender and transitioning to give you a smart answer. I would say, though, that I just don't feel like exclusion is an answer, and I think that we need to have deeper, more layered conversations.
And you'd be okay with them in the locker room?
How's everybody, Annie, guys?
Yeah. Is there any frustration? Because
all right,
you guys are in a really fantastic...
We can cut it. So that's the Indiana Fever head coach. That's the head coach for Sophie Cunningham. That's the head coach for Caitlin Clark. The science hasn't changed, whatever the coach's name is. Men are still born with a penis. Women are still born with a vagina. Nothing has changed since the beginning of time. There may be some very rare cases of abnormalities, but for the most part, nothing has changed. Now, let me take you to another clip. This is the coach for the Golden State Valkyries. I didn't know any of these people, frankly, before the last couple of days because I don't watch the WNBA, but it is appalling to me nonetheless that these women are having they've got their own sport. I mean, they've got the Golden Cow and Caitlin Clark. Their salaries have tripled. They can fly charter planes now. They're getting endorsement deals now, stuff that didn't happen before Caitlin Clark. And these people are just flushing it down the toilet. So this is cut number 11. This is the Valkyrie coach. Let's play cut number 11.
How I'm seeing it is, if I could answer with, like, for me, sports is about belonging. It's about inclusivity. It's about allowing everyone to be their authentic self. I'm big on that just because I have been criticized for my height, for my ethnicity. I've been in those "you shouldn't belong here" many times. And for me, I don't want that space, especially Golden State, to ever feel like that. So I'm all about women, little girls deserving to play, and that includes trans women. So I'm all about inclusivity.
All right. I don't believe her for a second. I don't believe she's been criticized because of her height, because of her ethnicity. Maybe everybody, when they're a kid, maybe they get teased or what have you. Has she grown up with that? I seriously doubt it, especially in left wing California. Makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. But these people are going to eventually get what they want. And they say they're into inclusivity. They said they're against exclusivity. You heard this from her, I believe, and also from the head coach of the Indiana Fever. But Michelle Tafoya has the perfect answer for this. Michelle Tafoya, who's currently running for the Senate, or as a senatorial candidate on the Republican side in Minnesota. And she said, of course, we're for exclusivity, the WNBA and sports in general. Remember, she was a sportscaster for decades, and a good one at that. When it comes to team sports, you're very exclusive because not everybody is allowed on the team. It's based upon merit. If you stink, you don't get on the team. The same is true with the WNBA or any other team, quite frankly. So that's just a bold-faced lie that they're against exclusivity. That just doesn't make sense. But if they really want to, actually, before I get to this, there's another woman that has just stood up. This is a young lady. If we have enough time, Gabe, this is a young lady, cut number 13, that is standing up for women and women's sports. She happens to be the number one female tennis player right now. Let's play her cut real quick.
I think it's really important to keep the fairness in our tour, and it's obvious that biologically, right, the men are way stronger than women, so I feel like it would be not really fair for the woman to compete against biological men. So I believe it took them a little while to make this decision, and I support it. But for me, I'm focusing on myself, on my goals, whatever it takes. If they want to test us all, I'm happy to do that. It's pretty fair, and let's keep it that way.
All right. So isn't it a shame? And by the way, I want to get her name right. And I actually do enjoy tennis when I get to watch it. I believe her name is Aryna Sabalenka. And so good for her. I mean, it's sad that in today's society, that's considered courage. Common sense is considered courage. The same is true for Sophie Cunningham. That's considered courage. Saying, yeah, I believe, men shouldn't be in women's sports. That's courage. So if the WNBA wants to get or be so courageous, I've got an idea. I'm down for some expansion leagues because then I will probably be entertained enough to watch the WNBA. So I came up with some names with the help of Sean McConnell of the Scott Jennings Show and the Larry Elder Show. So here's some names for some expansion teams for the WNBA. What about the Scranton Scrotums? Another one, Albany Adams Apples. What about the Tennessee Testies? What about the Boston Lady Boys? What about the Denver Nuggets? All right. I know that already exists. With the Fresno Frankenbeans. Yeah, we could have the Toronto Twig and Berries. Just some names for ideas for some expansion teams for the WNBA. What about the Jacksonville Jockstraps? Now, if I were an owner, I would love to own the Jacksonville Jockstraps. That just sounds like a team that would dunk on these women that think they are so tough and just straight dominate them. So that would be appealing to me. What about the Houston HTRs, as in Houston hormone therapy replacements? Or what about the Texas Transitioners? Guys, if you really are ladies, if you really want to play this game, you're going to erase your league. You're going to erase women. Let's stop the nonsense and just play ball. And kudos to the heroes like Sophie Cunningham standing up for girls. It's a shame that that's considered a hero nowadays.
Half a century later, Watergate still shapes how Americans view power, scandal, and trust. This weekend, the America 250 film series presents Watergate Secrets and Betrayals. Revisit the investigation through archival footage, interviews, and new arguments about what happened. Watch Saturday and Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern on Salem News Channel.